Okay, oftentimes you might see somebody who likes one guy who likes a girl and wants to write songs for her, but what the guy fails to realize is by saying that Jesus is not God, it's really not attractive to the girl who believes Jesus is God. What does the Bible say about being unequally yoked? Or you might see a girl who likes to do photo shoots. She doesn't really want to talk much about God because it's not everybody's journey. Is Jesus even relative to her? Or is it the photo shoots that's more attractive to her? Marriage partners are meant to experience a deep and exclusive oneness with each other. They should be best friends, able to share all, bear all, and help one another discern the deepest issues of life. So see, how can you discern the deepest issues of life if you have a different answer of who Jesus is? The relationship between a husband and wife is so unique that God chose it as a metaphor to represent his own relationship with his people. He calls both Israel and the church his bride. He wants us to experience the kind of trust and intimacy with him that he intended husbands and wives to share with one another. God desires to be close to people who walk in his ways and who love what he loves. Do you think a father would love his son? Or do you think a father would be like, well, that person said my son's irrelevant, and is not mine? Yeah. Or, well, they walk a different journey. Against that backdrop, we pose the question, is it okay for a believer in Jesus to marry an unbeliever? I mean, answering who Jesus is shouldn't. You got a different God if you have a different answer to that question. Many people put their relationship with God on the back burner in order to develop a romantic relationship that does not fit God's equation for marriage. So that's the question. I mean, if you believe Jesus is not God, why pursue somebody who believes Jesus is God? That's kind of a little weird. I mean, you should pursue the Creator before you pursue the creation. Equation for marriage. More often than not, they bank on the fact that they can make things right with God later, and they certainly can. What many fail to realize is that when they eventually do make things right with God, they will realize the wrongness of the choice they made. So, see, I mean, that's also you see on YouTube as well. It's like, well, they have different journeys, so it's better if I focus on creating photo shoots than advertising who God is on that creation. I mean, what you make videos about is who you say God is. So, should you be making videos on photo shoots or about trying to win this lost? It's up to you. A good marriage requires two people who understand what makes one another tick. I would ask anyone considering marriage with an unbeliever to consider this important matter. If your life is motivated by Yahshua, and if you are all and if you all you are is wrapped up with who Jesus is, how he's changed you, and how you want to change the world for him, and if that's really the great passion of your life, can you truly share the depths of your soul with someone who says, "Oh, you believe in Jesus? Glad you're into that, but it's not my thing." How can the most intimate human relationship be truly intimate with one partner to not understand the most important thing in the other's life. I guess that can be the same thing to be said with once saved, always saved, and the KJV only movement. Like, what I see it is Jesus had this great crowd who followed him. He had this 12 who was with him. Then he had the 3 he asked to come up to prayer with him that couldn't last 1 hour. Anyways, there's different cycles. I mean, you have the 12, which are really close, and one even still betrayed him. Then you had the crowd. So see, Jesus soon showed us there's 3 different circles of friends, but how intimate they could be. The unbelieving spouse cannot comfort his or her partner with the truth of God's wonderful promises, cannot encourage him or her to be more for God, can't rejoice over the spiritual discoveries his or her partner makes. A spiritually mixed marriage can never become the complete relationship God intended. I think that's why, variance within the faith, as I would say. I mean, like, you have one group that says Jesus won't lie. He said, "You shall not perish." Then you have another group that says, "Well, yeah, Jesus said, you shall not perish, but God said you have to keep His words. We believe His words are this particular English translation." The other group is like, "Well, yeah, God said He reserved His words, but I'm not sure exactly where they're at. We've got some pretty good translations." So yeah, I guess I do see where there's a problem there. You're not saying the same thing. That's what's so frustrating. It's like, you see somebody cool you do like to hang out with, wouldn't mind having in your group, but then you don't say the same thing. That's where the savior narcissism kind of kicks in. So, is there any way I can get this person's answer to start matching mine? But then you don't allow that person the freedom to say whatever they want to say. Their journey is not your journey, no matter how much you would like it to be. You have to give them the freedom to go away. Are they're able to walk alongside you on 8 of 10 issues. It needs to be 10 of 10 issues. And sometimes it's like, well, okay, this person walked with me on the 8 issues, but then this other person can walk with me on the other 9th issue. They can't walk out with me anywhere else. So let's create this. You got 3 people here, but each kind of fulfilling partial things that coexist in one world order. Things starting to work out, but you're just missing there's a lot of discord. It's not pure unity. That's what prompts me to always say, okay, how can we get people to be together in one solid unity? When there's some others are like, this is where Charlie starts the fights at, because he doesn't have the pure unity. He wants pure unity, but we don't have it. So let's start a fight to try to get people to pure unity. Even worse, the problem with dysfunctional marriage. I mean, you can just substitute friendship. You don't necessarily need marriage. An unbeliever is one that functions at the expense of the believer's relationship with God. He or she harmonizes more with the spouse and less with the Savior. The love for Him grows cold, and the faith begins to fade. That is why I tell any believer who dates or considers marrying an unbeliever that he or she is endangering his or her spiritual life, and that even if he or she pulls through successfully, the marriage will not be what it could or should have been. And so that's kind of important. I mean, if a Jewish guy has a crush on a Christian girl, he really needs to first of all check with the Creator and say, why am I a Jewish guy instead of a Christian guy? Because we can't change others, we can only change ourselves. So we need to take a strong, deep, strong look at who do we say Jesus is, and is the other partner we're interested in saying the same thing about who Jesus is. If we're answering different questions, giving different answers there, that needs to be the first thing that we'll work on for anything else. They're not in the same, if we're not giving the same answer there, they're not in the same column.